The best team in history does not play in the MLB. The Diablos Rojos del Mexico have just finished arguably the best season in baseball history. They have accomplished things no other team in the history of the baseball world has accomplished, and their 2024 season will be remembered among the great seasons in sports history. Let's look at their amazing season and find out why they are the best team in baseball history. The Diablos Rojos are Mexico's biggest team. They play in Mexico City, the biggest city in Mexico and the 8th largest city in terms of population in the world, larger than New York. They play in Estadio Alfredo Harp, and their fans are as loud as any fans in baseball. The Diablos are Mexico's winningest franchise. They just won their 17th championship and are called Mexico's Yankees. The dream season started on March 24th against the New York Yankees. The Diablos and the Yankees played an exhibition series before their respective seasons started. The Yankees did not bring their A-team, but they certainly brought some very good players such as Giancarlo Stanton, Anthony Volpe, and Osvaldo Cabrera, and Mexican relief pitcher Victor Gonzalez, who is a product of the Diablos Baseball Academy. For the Diablos, there were also some very recognizable names. Former major leaguers Franklin Barreto, José Rondón, and Aristides Aquino. But the best players on the Diablos team were 2020 Cy Young winner Trevor Bauer and Yankees legend Robinson Cano. The game was a huge event in Mexico. Legends like Mariano Rivera and celebrities like Luisito Comunica were among the many people that attended the games. The Diablos won the first game 4-3, a game in which Bauer and Cano made their debuts with the Mexican team. Bauer threw 3 shutout innings with 3 strikeouts. He gave up 4 hits and 2 walks, not very spectacular for the right-hander. Cano had a sensational game against his former team, going 3 for 4 with a single, a double, and a home run. The second game did not get better for the Yankees. They lost 8-5 after taking an early lead. The Diablos scored 8 runs in the third inning and the Yankees could not come back. Even though it was not a full roster of the New York Yankees, it showed that the Diablos were no joke and that they were going to be really good in the 2024 season. Before starting the season, let's take a look at what their roster looked like. The Diablos had 20 players with MLB service time in their roster in the 2024 season. Most of them did not have successful major league careers, but others were very solid big leaguers. Franklin Barreto, José Marmolejos, Pat Maseika, and José Rondón were also bad in the MLB, but were very good for the Diablos in 2024. On the pitching side, Alex Claudio played in parts of 10 seasons with the Rangers, Brewers, Angels, and Mets. He accumulated 6.3 WAR in 348 innings pitched, and had a career ERA plus of 129. He was a big part of the Diablos bullpen in 2024. Conner Menez and Jimmy Jacabonis also had some time in the majors. One of the most interesting players in the Diablos roster is the Punisher Aristides Aquino. The Dominican outfielder had 41 home runs in 5 seasons with the Cincinnati Reds. He had a 2.2 WAR and 86 OPS plus. Not very remarkable, but what is remarkable about Aquino, besides his awesome nickname, is that in 2019 he had one of the best starts to an MLB career in history. In 27 games he had 14 home runs with a .330 batting average and an .804 slugging. He was as hot as anyone in baseball, and the rest thought he was going to be a key piece in the middle of their lineup going forward, but in his following 29 games, he simply forgot how to hit. He had a batting average of 194 with a .370 slugging and 5 home runs. He did not get better in the following years and played his final MLB game in 2022. He then played in Japan in 2023 and got signed by the Diablos for the 2024 season. Finally, the 2 biggest names in the Diablos roster are Bauer and Cano. Trevor Bauer is one of the most controversial players in the game. He has not pitched in the MLB since 2021 due to off-field issues, and since then he has played in Japan and now Mexico. Bauer won the Cy Young in 2020 with a spectacular season. He then signed a 3-year $102 million deal with the Dodgers, but after 17 starts in the 2021 season, he got suspended. Without getting too much into that, he was reinstated before the 2023 season, but he did not get signed by an MLB team, and instead he pitched in the Nippon Baseball League for the Yokohama Baystars. He had a good season in Japan. In 19 starts, he had a .276 ERA, a 1.148 WHIP, and 130 strikeouts in 130 innings pitched. After the 2023 season, Bauer wanted to return to MLB but failed to receive a contract offer from an MLB team, and in hopes of showing he was an MLB caliber pitcher, he signed with the Diablos for 5 starts. the first one being is against the Yankees. Bauer then signed for 3 months after not receiving MLB offers and then decided to stay with the Diablos all season long. Robinson Cano is a legend. His career in MLB ended on a bad note after being suspended in 2021 for PEDs and missing the season. In 2022, he played for 3 teams and was not good. That was the last we saw of Cano in the MLB, but regardless of the end, Cano was a legend. Cano played 9 years for the New York Yankees and had 204 home runs, with a .309 batting average and an OPS plus of 126 for the Pinstripes. He's one of the most memorable Yankees of the 2000s, and he was a 5-time All-Star, 2-time Gold Glover, and 5-time Silver Slugger for the Yankees. In 2008, he won the World Series. Cano signed a 10-year, $240 million with the Seattle Mariners in the 2013-2014 offseason. With Seattle, he was good as well. In 5 seasons, he posted a .296 batting average with 107 home runs and a 129 OPS plus. He was also a 3-time All-Star for the M's. In 2018, he went back to New York, but this time to play for the Mets, and this is when things started to go bad for Cano. In his first year, he had a bad year, with a below league average 95 OPS plus in 107 games. He bounced back in 2020 with an OPS plus of 143, but then the suspension came. The Diablos started their season on April 11th against the 2023 champions Pericos de Puebla. They won the first 2 games, and on the 3rd game of the season, a huge brawl erupted between Diablos and Pericos after a bad flip by Ramon Flores. There were 7 suspensions handed after the brawl, and things were definitely going to be tense the next time they faced each other. The Diablos started the season hot, winning 12 out of 15. On April 21st, Trevor Bauer had a sensational game, punching out 14 in 6 innings, only allowing 1 base runner on a walk. He tied a Mexican League record with 9 straight strikeouts and also threw an immaculate inning. He looked like the pitcher that won the 2020 Cy Young, and that was scary for the Mexican League. On May 4th, something very interesting happened. The Diablos had a May the 4th night for their Saturday game against Oaxaca. The team partnered with Disney to collaborate on a Star Wars themed experience for fans. They decorated the stadium and sold merchandise, and the team played with a Darth Maul inspired uniforms, which looked sick. The promotion helped the team on the field as well. They swept the Guerreros de Oaxaca and outscored them 26-9 in the series. Trevor Bauer pitched in the Darth Maul uniforms and had a very good game, punching out 9 in 6 innings. Cano also homered in that game. The season kept going well for Diablos, and at the All-Star game, they were the best team with a 29-7 record. The Diablos were the favorites to win it all, and Bauer and Cano were putting up some great numbers. On June 21st, Trevor Bauer made history again. The Diablos faced Oaxaca again, and Bauer was on his A game. He set a Mexican League record 19 strikeouts in a game. He threw 127 pitches, and the Diablos won 6-1. The Diablos finished the regular season with a record-setting 71 wins. Individually, they also had some records of their own. Cano won the batting title after hitting .431. It was just the 3rd 400-plus batting average season in Mexican League history. He also led the league in hits. Homegrown player Julian Ornelas hit 16 home runs with a .928 OPS and led the league in RBI with 84. Trevor Bauer had a spectacular season, leading the league in wins and strikeouts, and finishing 2nd in ERA. It is worth noting that the Diablos play in Mexico City, which has an elevation of 7,350 feet, 2,000 feet higher than Colorado. The Diablos were the number 1 seed in the South Zone, and for their first round matchup, they were facing the Pericos de Puebla, the team with which they opened the regular season and had a brawl in the 3rd game of the season. The Diablos won the regular season series 7-2, and in the playoffs, it was more of the same. Diablos won 4-1. Cano had a 3-run home run in Game 1, and the Diablos did not even need Bauer in that series, as he was out with stomach problems. After defeating the 2023 champion, the Diablos faced the 2022 champion, Leones de Yucatán. Yucatán finished 3rd in the South Zone. Diablos dominated the regular season series, winning 8 out of 9, and they also dominated the Leones in the playoffs, sweeping them. Bauer returned in Game 3 and was really good, pitching 5 shutout innings with 8 strikeouts. The Diablos were cruising in the playoffs, winning 8 out of 9 games, but when they faced Oaxaca in the South Zone final, the Diablos were finally challenged. Oaxaca won the first 3 games. In Game 1, they got to Bauer. The righty allowed 4 runs on 7 hits and 2 walks, only recording 2 strikeouts in 5 innings. The Diablos lost the game 5-4. They lost games 2 and 3 as well. In game 3 they lost on a walk-off single by former Rockies outfielder Jonathan Daza. Oaxaca was a very competitive team in the Mexican League. Their roster had 24 players with MLB service time, more than the Diablos roster. And they have some players that have had success in MLB, such as Renato Núñez, who hit 31 home runs in 2019 with the Orioles. The Diablos were down 3-0, facing elimination, and their amazing season was in the brink of ruin for the first time all year. But they responded like you would expect out of the best team in history. They crushed Oaxaca 16-5 in Game 4 and 9-1 in Game 5. Trevor Bauer bounced back in Game 5 and threw 7 spectacular innings, only allowing 1 run and striking out 13. In typical Bauer fashion, he taunted the fans and drew their anger. In Game 6, after being down 9-1, the Diablos managed to come back and win 11-10. Cano had 2 hits and 1 RBI, and former Mariner Jose Marmolejos had a 3-run shot. It all came down to Game 7. The Guerreros struck first with a 2-run shot by Roberto Ramos in the 5th. Trevor Bauer came in relief in the 6th inning and was dominant. He threw his second immaculate inning of the season and finished with 5 strikeouts in 4 innings pitched. In the bottom of the 7th, Diablos answered with a 2-run home run by Ramon Flores. With the game tied in the bottom of the 9th, the Diablos had the bases loaded and former Mets catcher Pat Mazeika hit a fly ball to right field to bring in the winning run on a sacrifice fly. The Diablos won the South Zone Championship and now had to face one of the most historic teams in the Mexican League history, in the Serie del Rey, the Sultanes de Monterrey, a team that had 19 players with MLB service time and had the second best record in the Mexican League. Diablos won. They swept the Sultanes, outscoring them 39-8 with an exclamation mark victory in Game 2, winning 17-0. Cano went 3 for 5 with a home run and 3 RBI. Aquino had 2 hits and 3 RBI. And homegrown player Julian Ornelas had 2 home runs with 5 RBI. The Sultanes were not able to respond to Diablos' firepower and did not compete at all in the Serie del Rey. The Diablos won their 17th Mexican League Championship, the most of any team. This concluded a sensational season by the Diablos Rojos, and definitely one of the best in baseball history. The Diablos had a .789 winning percentage in 90 regular season games. If they had played 162 games with that winning percentage, they would have won 127 games. 11 more than the 2001 Seattle Mariners, who had the most wins in a season in MLB. The Mariners did not win the World Series that year. The Diablos did win the Mexican League. The winningest season in Nippon professional baseball is 750 by the Nankai Hawks in 1951. Not as good as the Diablos. In the Korean Baseball League, the Samsung Lions have the record with a winning percentage of 706. Again, not as good as the Diablos. The 1906 Cubs are tied with the 2001 Mariners in wins, but they have a higher winning percentage since they achieved 160 wins in just 150 games. Their .763 winning percentage still falls short of the 2024 Diablos. It was a historic season for the Diablos. Perhaps if they played in another league, they would not have won as many games. But their season is definitely one that should go down in world baseball history, and they can make a great argument as the best team in baseball history. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. See you next time.